So in my very first video, I told you to put it at like 1280 by 720, and there's a super easy solution to like not follow this rule. Be like, oh man, it goes out of the canvas. I wish this was huge. Well, you can, and I'm going to tell you how to tell you. So you can just do that. You can make it whatever canvas you want. Make this SWF. Then bam, you put it into After Effects. Do the same thing. And then all you gotta do is go here to your comp. You go to composition settings, and here you can adjust whatever. And you can just put it back to 1280. You can put it back to 720, and it'll only adjust like what you see. The actual SWF right here, it's like an even bigger box now, so you can, yeah, you can do whatever. Look, there's my character. It's not my character, but there's a character. Alright, so this video, part 4, is just going to be, it's going to be kind of like a filler episode. It's going to have some things in After Effects that you should know about, but nothing really major in terms of like skill building or whatever. They're just really handy stuff. And one of the things is if you noticed from when I went to comp, you can adjust more than just your resolution of the composition. And the composition is just basically like its final product. Final product is going to be like this resolution, and you can adjust it. You can also adjust the frame rate of your composition, and this isn't like your SWF, so this won't affect the frame rate of your SWF. This will be like the frame rate of the final video. And you can also adjust how long it is. I've got mine set to like frames, so I can set it longer if I want. I can be like, I can last it that many frames long. Except it can't, because After Effects can only go 3 hours. Nice! And in all seriousness, you can always just click this to create new comp button if you already know what you're doing. One of the other things I really want to mention that's helpful before getting into more detail of effects and stuff is if you're in a certain point of your timeline, you can click on your solid layer, press Control, Shift, and D, and it'll split it in half, kind of, in 2 separate layers. So, okay. So I'm going to go through these, and I'm going to go in depth of what each of them does. I found all these effects from like, you know, friends are just like, oh, use this, use that. Just search it on YouTube, what you really want. Search on YouTube, find some effects, use them to your advantage, because that's how I found them, and they explain it a lot better. So let's start with optical flares. Optical flares is my absolute favorite. You can do 2 things. You could make an adjustment layer. Well, hold on. Optical flares is like it's a plugin kind of thing, so you got to download it third party, but it's got really nice lens flaring. And to put it on your entire thing, you can do 3 things actually. You can pre-comp it, you know how we put effects. You just put the comp in a comp, and then you can drag and drop it on top, but everything will be black. So you can, you can go to over original, and there you go. You can make an adjustment layer, which is kind of like an invisible layer. The adjustment layer affects everything below it, as it feels like its own group. So if you put, for example, glow on the adjustment layer, everything under the adjustment layer will glow. And like if some things are on top, they won't glow, but everything below it will glow. And the third thing I like, which is my personal favorite, is just creating a solid, make it like pure black, put the optical flares, and then you can, if you have this button right here, you can press it and you'll get these modes. If you don't have the button right there, like this, it'll look like this, and you can change it from these buttons on the bottom left. So what you want to do is you want to turn it into like add or lighten or screen or something you use like in Flash. And then this position X and Y, you use this little target to like move around where you want it to be, and it'll automatically move it to, you know, where all those little specks are. Like you don't want to just grab the entire box. This one here is the brightness, controls how bright it is. Scale's a lot different than brightness. It kind of adjusts how big these little specks are, and it makes it brighter naturally. You've got rotation offset, which is like, you know, this. You've got color, which is not really color. It's kind of like tint. Animation evolution is just like seeing which rays will like twinkle and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. Positioning mode. I'm not going to get too much into that since I don't know it that well. There are some guides online that are way better than me to help explain this. So if you really want to get in depth, you can just search online on YouTube. Foreground layers. This is also another technique which I would recommend you search online. But the basic gist of it is like selecting which layers will be in front. So when the lens flare goes in front or behind the object you selected, it'll like turn off. Flicker is like how much flicker you want it to be as like time passes, which is pretty good, you know. Custom layers, I have no idea what that's about. Okay, so now that we've covered the basics of how to control the optical flares, in a way, kind of, you can go up here and you can press this options button, and then it'll load this entirely new window. It'll take a little while to load it though. And then you've got, well, everything is just like a new program, so it's a little bit confusing, but all you really got to pay attention to is the bottom right area right here. Just go to preset browser, and they got good ones. They got pro presets, and you can select which lens flare you want, and that's just basically your library of different lens flares you got. You can click on here for its real global color, which is like, I like to see this as like a real color change. And down here is like all the different parts of the lens flare you can adjust. So you can adjust here how bright you want something to be, how big you want something to be, or you can just hide it so it doesn't show on like the final render. When you select one individual part of this, you've got a whole lot more options over here on what to do with them. So, and you can click this target button to like choose an area you want. So if I want Derek's eye, there you go, best lens flare. Alright, so that was optical flares. Now let's go to vignette lighting. Alright, now we're going to move on to photo filter. And photo filter is just basically, is like self-explanatory. It's just a photo filter, and you can choose from these presets what kind of color you want. So if I wanted a green filter, and then you can adjust density, which is like how strong you want it, how weak you want it. Preserve luminosity, you can see the difference. So next effect is CC toner, and CC toner, oh my god, this one is one I would definitely use. It's good for something like if you have multiple objects, and let's say they're not the same color. Let's just pretend these tiles are like brown or something. And with CC toner, you can change the color of things. So you it's good to just stay in tritone. Don't adjust this for now. It just adjusts how much color you want to fiddle around with. And you've got highlights, you've got shadows, but the main color you want to change is the midtones. So let's say if I wanted this to be green, and then down here you can adjust the blend with the original, so you can make it kind of like this color. It doesn't really match with the background, but what you can do is you can just select that background part, and you can copy and paste the CC toner effect you used on the tiles, and it'll like blend in, and you can do that with the next. And you know, you can adjust how dark it is, how whatever it is. But it's a good way of blending your trees. So if you've got trees and plants that are like yellowish plants, but like really high green, bluish trees, you can use CC toner to definitely mix and match those. Next effect, Trap Coat Shine. So I've actually never used Trap Coat Shine either, but I actually just fiddled around with it a little bit, and I've got quite an idea of what it is. And this is what it looks like after I'd done my fiddles. You can also like have it with color, so you can make it shine purple if you wanted to. How to get it to where it is right now? You want to just drag Trap Coat Shine onto the comp, and it's gonna look like this. It's gonna look, you know, red, ugly, I guess. You want to open up Colorize, then you want to go down here to Transfer Mode, and you want to go to like, I guess Add. You can also go for like Screen, and we're gonna change this based on lightness to luminance. This isn't that important. I just like luminance more. What I want to do is I just want to change this down to black so it doesn't get that huge, you know, red tone. Because anything that's close to black will be, you know, what it originally is, black. That's what shadows are. The midtones, this is where like the color I talked about. See, we're already getting close to there. So I made this purple. You can make this blue. That's basically it. These two things right here are how long you want the ray to be or how close you want it to be. And this is how much boost of light you want it to have. So you can have it like this, and then everything just looks shiny. And if you don't really want this color, and you can change this 3-color gradient to none. Oh boy. Now onto light rays, and light rays are they're like the easy version, I guess. It's basically you choose this cursor, and you can just put it over top of anything, and it'll just shine like that. And you can choose how big the radius you want it, which you don't want it that big. You can choose how soft you want it to be. You can choose how bright you want it to be too. Next we got CC radial blur. In CC radial blur, if you adjust the amount, you can see like this, it'll turn into like a circular blur. But you can actually adjust this so it can be from, you know, a scratch circle, or you can go straight zoom, fading zoom, centered zoom, and it'll look like it's going towards the middle of the screen. And lastly, offset. Oh, offset. Offset is basically just like scrolling your it's scrolling a map background object, and it's repeating on the other end. So if we take off Reptile for a second, you can see that it's kind of doing that effect, which is pretty cool because you can hit the stopwatch and you can be like, I want this to go from point A until the end of the video. I want it to scroll this much. And then when you play the video, it'll do that it'll do that automatically. And you can make it so it looks like the clouds are moving. There may be a slight problem if you try to combine it with Reptile, so make sure you fiddle around with what order it goes with, because I'm not 100% sure. But if you pay close attention, at least at some point it might have a little cutoff here. If you have the offset moving all the way to like say one direction, and the value you moved it to reaches to like 220,000 or something, I can't remember how much, but it was a huge amount. And After Effects has its limits, so if you reach that boundary, it will stop moving to the left and it'll start glitching out, you know. It'll like stop moving, it'll move the opposite direction at a slower pace. And the only way to fix that, or an easy way to fix that, is the moment you see that happens, you just make a keyframe before it. You just like make a keyframe before it, for example, and then the next keyframe, you just reset it back to 0, that value, and then you just try to look for. You compare the keyframe before and you compare to 0, and you try to make it so it's a little bit aligned, and then you can just rinse and repeat, and you can have it go all the way to that big value again. Okay, so those were all the effects I mentioned in the previous video, but there's one more thing I want to just show you guys that I didn't. I planned to have it in the third video, but I didn't actually include it because, you know, I wanted to get it out of the way. Anyway, so what I'm going to show you is like how to make light rays coming from above. So basically what you want to do is you want to get a black solid, and you don't want to change it just yet. You want to go search for curtain. If you're using an older version of After Effects, it might be in fractal noise. You can remove tritone over here. You want to grab your pen tool, and something about the pen tool is as long as you're selecting a layer, your pen tool turns into like a mask tool kind of. So you can click here, and then you can click down here, and you can just cut out the shape of the mask you want, or the area that you want to get. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some spikes, as if you're like drawing really bad hair, or something like that, just small ones. As you go from the left side to the right side, you want it to gradually go down. And then once you get close to the borders, you don't want to go outside the borders. Through the top is fine, but on the sides you don't really want to pass that. And you just go through the top, you go through here, and then you just cut it out. So now, what you're going to do is you're going to click on this drop down. You can go to mask right here, and then you can just adjust the feathering, and you can make it so it's a little bit smoother on the. So really all you do is you just adjust that and you can go to transform here. You can click on rotation. You can rotate it a bit to the left, and that's where, for example, if the sun was over here, you can rotate it to the left, and that's why we had it gradually go down, so this bottom layer is on even levels. If you had it on the other side though, you can just, you know, change this mode to add, or screen, or whatever you like. I just love add. We gotta make it 3D first, so we can, you know, move it. You can adjust how bright parts are by going to contrast, so you want more contrast, you know. And also don't be afraid to, like, you know, stretch it out and stuff like that, because that's a really good method of doing things. And you can go to CC Toner, awesome effect I mentioned, and you can just make it whatever color you want. So if you want like a golden sun, you know, like shining away, you can adjust the blend with original and it'll look a little bit yellow. Or in this case, if you want like a blue moon, you can kind of do that. And this evolution part just shows like which part is moving. So you can stop watch it here and then go to the end of your video, you know, roll this a couple times. Well, maybe not a couple times, but you know what I mean. And I can move the camera. And then you can just, if you want, you can just copy this and paste it. And then you can have this go backwards as like another layer. If you even want to go further, you can just add glow if, you know, the color isn't getting you right. See, look at that. That looks cool. You're gonna have to pay attention to, you know, your second comp, because in your second comp, well, at least for me, I always add glow. So there's going to be even more glow and it can look dangerous, you know. So thank you for checking out all these awesome little, you know, tips and tricks video. The next video I'm going to be making, I know a lot of people have been requesting, oh, how do you make 3D maps or 2.5D maps? And to be honest, it's not really like, I wouldn't fully recommend 2.5D maps, but I will show you anyways. And so that's what I'm hoping to be accomplishing next. It may take a little while, you know, so don't expect it like next week. I've got a link in the description about this other guy who has a great technique on how to make, you know, light rays, because trap code shine doesn't really work that well, but there's this other method which I have yet to like experiment with and use, but it's a really good method. Check that out, and until next time, I will see you, and sus, yeah.
Ooh, baby!